Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find a link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with 16 wins and 2 losses for a win rate of 88.89%, so I'm very pleased about that. Had a good week. I didn't trade that much this week. A lot of this stuff I did not like, but Mondays have been like plaguing me. I've been always taking losses on Mondays, but this past Monday I did not take any, so I did pleased about that. So traded is Monday. I said SPY puts on the 418. Monday is right here. We're pretty, let's see. Is this Monday right here, the 22nd? Yeah, so we had a big run up for the 410.50 on the hourly, and we get a lot of things going on. So I was kind of looking at it from the short perspective that we had a dump on Friday that we were going to probably continue down. So yeah, this is Friday right there. So I said what, 418, which is right here down to pre-market low, rounded down for a nice whole number. You can also see that was right where it was bouncing on Friday. So I didn't take any plays at first. I waited. I took it at 10 o'clock. I took puts, which is right here, as you can see. Got this big massive green candle, then it started to come down. So when it broke lower day, that's when I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 41.90 puts at 870, and they went from 870 to 690 right there on that flush. So that worked out really, really well. Then we had this massive rebound candle, which was kind of crazy. I didn't do anything. I wasn't quite sure. I just sat out. So when it came back down again and made a higher low and came back up to the 419.20 area, what, at 11? Yeah, at 11:04. That's right here. I took calls right above this 419.15 area, or even say 419.20. I took the 41.95 calls at 860, and I got a push from 860 to 1020. So I got a nice little play out of that, because we had this massive green candle and it came back down and it quickly shot back up. I mean, it rejected a couple times right here, once, twice. It dropped and quickly got bought back up. I thought for sure we were going to pop big, but it didn't. It just popped a little, so, $1.50 plus move on that. Definitely going to take that. Then it just chops pretty much the entire day. And I took calls at 218, which is right here. I waited and waited. Then we had this big drop right here. I remember I took that in the challenge account, so I remember playing that. It quickly got bought back up, came back up to this level again of the 419.30 area. When it broke out, I didn't take it here. It was a fake out again. I didn't take it here. I took it here. We had this drop right back down to the 20 EMA, which is the blue line. It came back up. That's where I grabbed it again, right there. I grabbed grabbed the calls. The 4,200 calls were 420, and they went from 420 to $6. So definitely got a good play out of that. The next play was 4,200 puts at 323, which is right here. No, I got it right down here. For some reason I got it up here. I think I waited until it broke through VWAP when it got below the 419.15 area, which has been where it's rejecting. Then it acted as support right here, and that's where I took the calls. And when it came back down and it flushed through VWAP, usually it loves to flush through and rage through VWAP. VWAP used to be an area where it would resist. I have resistance and support, but lately it's storming right through it, up and down. So when it came back through, I was playing through VWAP, and that's what it did, exactly what it did. 4,200 puts at 410. They went from 410 to 780, almost 100% move on that. So 4-0 on Monday, so definitely pleased about that. Now on to Tuesday, traded in his room. SPY calls about 418, which is, did I take that? 418. No, I didn't take it. Went off this lower high right here. That's the level I went off from. If it broke that, we were going to probably get a push, but it didn't. We got rejected to 418. I took puts at 1014, which is right here. Took the 4180 puts at 820, and it did break low day, but I don't think I sold right then and there. I have to actually check. I think I held onto that thing for a long time. What day was that? The 23rd. 1014. No, I sold it right away. Yeah, I sold it right here. So yeah, I must have got it right here, the 417 area, and then when we got that right there, a little bit of a drop. So those 4180 puts that I got at 820 went to 1110 right there. So yeah, I sold that within minutes. So that was a really quick play. Just had to check. I wasn't sure if I held on to that one because I think one of them I did hold on to, but then it took calls at 1240, which is right 1040, which is right here. Now the 418 level rejected here. Then it decided to try to make new lower day. It didn't. It got bought up really quickly, held VWAP, and it came back up towards the 418 level again. So I grabbed it, thinking we were gonna pop based on what was happening right here, and it didn't. It dropped. Then I ended up averaging down. I had the 4185 calls I got here at 730. Then I averaged down more at 4. I didn't have that many. My new average was 565, and then I ended up cutting it when we broke over here, I think. So didn't work out when it gets me. So that was my first loss. I mean, I would have definitely taken that again, and I would have taken it right. I probably would have taken it there if I wasn't already in it, and because it's making a higher low, it's making a descending triangle, as you can see it right there, and it's flatlining right there at the 418 level. So definitely making a higher low, and then it did breaks, and that's probably where I should have cut it. I think I cut it more down here, but anyways, it is what it is. Then I grabbed puts at let's see, the 4165 puts at 128, which is right here. Got the bounce right here. Didn't quite get to the 20 EMA or VWAP, and then it started to had this really quick flush. I remember this. I wasn't even looking at this at the time, and something happened. It might have been debt ceiling news or something like that. And when it came back down to lower day, this 416 level, I grabbed it immediately. I grabbed the 4165 calls at 580, and they went from 580 to $11 right there. Then I grabbed puts at 212, which is right here. You can see the wicks going crazy. I got bought here, started the pop, got sold off, started the pop, got sold off. So when it broke below the 415.50 area, that's where I grabbed the calls. I grabbed 4165 puts at $8, and they went from $8 to $23.50 right there. So that ended up being a really good play. Then we had FOMC day, and this was the most boring FOMC I think I've ever seen. I mean, it was definitely really boring. Trade ideas room, did I see anything? Yeah, I did. This is SPY calls over 413, which is right here of this lower high, and it dumped right there, didn't do anything. So I waited and I grabbed calls at 10 o'clock, which is right here, right off this 410.50 level. That's where I grabbed the 4120 calls at 820, and it went from 820 to 980. This has been a huge level on major time frames. You can go to the 4 hour and you can see it on the 4 hour if this thing ever loads. There we go. You can see right here, support. You know, this thing has been major support. So I didn't even wait for a green candle. As soon as it hit 410.50, I grabbed it. So I didn't even hesitate. So I didn't reload, did I? Yeah, I did. 10:30. No, I got it right here. No, 10:30. Right here, I did reload. Yeah, right here, I did reload. I got the 41 calls again at 8:30, and I sold right in here. So they went from $8.30 to $9. I probably should have reloaded right here when it broke below this, but the more it tests an area, the more it's likely to break. So I actually kind of thought, you know, When you buying the major level like this, I usually buy it with the intention of the first reaction. You don't usually get two, but you can get two sometimes. And I definitely was not comfortable grabbing it again, especially after I went from 830 to 9. Didn't get really much of a jump, a pop on the second time, because last time we bought it down here, and I think I got it over here this time. So then it quickly went down to new lower day, and I just didn't. I probably should have, but I mean, I definitely could have grabbed it right over the 410 or 411 area and got that pop right there. But it is what it is. So I waited until FOMC, which was 2 o'clock right here. Well, 2 o'clock. It's right here. See, this is FOMC right here. Look how dumb that looks. I mean, this looks like it should have been FOMC, but no, this is it right here. Not much movement. So I had a SPX strangle. I had 41.15 puts at 7:30, and I had the 41.15 calls at 7:90. Now, this is why I like FOMC on non-Powell days when Powell is not speaking, because you can get rate at the money or possibly even in the money in it, maybe 1 or 2 strikes apart. But this time I was actually able to get both calls and puts on the same strike, which is really rare for FOMC. It was cheap. Luckily, we played it right. I popped a little bit, so the 41.15 calls went from $7.90 to $10. It popped on that, so when it popped, I got out. Then it dropped, and then I sold the puts on the drop, which went up to $10.90. So got a little bit of a play, not that much. It was kind of boring. Then I went to calls at 317, which is right here. Now it dropped down here. It getting bought below the 410.50 area, and it has an inverted head and shoulders. You get the left, you get the head and the right shoulder right here. So when I broke over this 411 area, or even 411.20 area, I mean, you could have even gotten a 411 or 411.20. I can't remember which one I got. Either one was fine. The inverted head and shoulders played out, so I had the 41.15 calls at 450, and they went from 450 to 1350. So that ended up being a really, really, really nice move. So definitely pleased about that. Now on Thursday, traded his room. SPY puts under 413.50, which is this higher low right here. I could have taken it, but I didn't. I waited. So I decided to take puts on the next one right here. Got this massive red candle, then it popped a little bit. Then when it came back down right here, I grabbed the 41.20 puts at 770, and it popped and came back down. Then I ended up stopping out, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then it ended up popping here, and I just was not expecting this kind of action right here. So I did take puts at 1120, which was right here. As you can see, it pushed through VWAP. Got this candle here. You got these candles right in here. I got all these 4 candles right here. So when it broke below the 413.50 and got at VWAP again, I was looking for the push through VWAP, and that's what I got. I got the 41.40 puts at 850, and then went from 850 to 14.10, and that pushed through. So that definitely was a good play. And then I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 41.50 calls at 610 at 12.53, which is right here. No, 12.53. Right here. I grabbed calls right there, yeah. Because it rejected over the 414.25, and it came back down the VWAP, bounced. And then when it came back quickly, this is where I grabbed it a little prematurely, but it did work out eventually. So I had the 41.50 calls to 610. It dropped down here, then it popped, and they ended up going from 610 to 1030. So that ended up being a good play. Then I grabbed puts at 232, which is right here. You can see the body of this candle, the wick. I think I might have actually grabbed it up here underneath the 414.80. And you could have grabbed it right here under the body of this candle, and you use these wicks. But I think I actually grabbed it right here. You can see the body, and the wick of this one, and the body and bottom of this one. So I think I actually grabbed it under the 414.85. I grabbed the 41.55 puts at 660, and they went from 660 to 13.50 right there. So definitely had a good day on that day. First play of the day was a loss. Then Then Friday, I only traded twice. This was just crazy. I said pre-market SPY puts under 414, which is down here at the this low over here at pre-market, and they just took off and didn't even look back. And I didn't want to chase it, so I waited. Actually, I did chase it right here. Wait, no, 11. Oh yeah, right here. This is what I did. Yeah, I did the FU setup. Yeah, I didn't chase this. I waited for a red candle to form, and when I got this red candle formed, when it got over the 419.50 area, that's where I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 4205 calls, the 690, and then went from 690 to 770. Not much of a play. It was kind of a fake out. Good thing I took it because it dumped. I waited. I grabbed calls again over 1150, which is right here. As you can see, this is where it rejected the higher day. This is where we had it, and it came back down. And it quickly came back up, and we have this area right here, the 419.40. I kind of grabbed it early. I don't know why I didn't wait for up here, but I kind of grabbed it. What time did I grab it? 11:50. I grabbed it right here. I don't know why I kind of grabbed it too early. I mean, I definitely was going to grab it over the 419.55 area, but I grabbed it just a hair too early. I must have been thinking we were going to have a massive pop and rage through. So sometimes I do buy before it initially breaks out because of that, and sometimes I just get it too early. And this time I got it a little bit too early, but ended up working out, ended up popping. So I had the 4,200 calls at 740, and they went from 740 to 920 on that. So that ended up working out. Had a good play. And then it just did nothing rest of the day. I mean, I could have taken it right here, but I was just like, okay, it's a long weekend. People are the volume's dying out. People are taking off early, and I just wasn't in the mood to play anymore and take any chances. So I called it for the week. So that's it for the recap. I hope this has helped you understand why I took the plays I did, and where. And thanks for watching.